Hey everybody, it's the Walker. Caught me right in the middle of a rest. What I'm doing, I'm just doing a little woods bumming today. Now one thing, everybody go off a little day hike. In this case, I am bushwhacking. Most of us carry a little day pack. Just makes sense. Carry things like fire starters and, you know, just a few items, headlamp, knife. One of those items, dropped my apple, 5-second rule. One of those items that, it seems like everybody, the very second they get involved in prepping, hiking, bushcraft, or whatever, they've got to have an Altoids kit. You just got to have one. If you don't have a Altoids kit, you'll die of exposure. I don't know what's going to happen to you, but it's going to be really bad. So you got to have an Altoids kit. Here's mine. Now, I did a review on this on YouTube, gosh, years ago, just years ago. But as I was walking around the woods, I got to thinking, what have I actually used out of this thing? What items have I actually used? And to evaluate, maybe is the whole thing needed? What items should I put in there? So what I'm going to do, we are going to move this for a closer view. We're going to take apart the contents and we're going to see what was used and what's not really needed. Of course, everybody's mileage varies. What works for me might not work for you. So hold on right there. We'll be right back. And here we are. Let's evaluate what we have in this little kit. These items have been seen before. It's a little windy today, so if the wind picks up, can't hear me properly, that's just, that's kind of the price for doing these things out in the woods. First thing, the cordage. This is whipped cordage. I think there's, I usually go for 1 arm length's worth. Let's see here. So this is more, so this has got to be 10 feet. This is 10 feet of a cordage. Now you notice it's not paracord. It's not paracord. And the only reason why it's not paracord is because this little leather holding bag, like when I EDC this. Another thing too, if you EDC, you've got to have an Altoids kit. You just have to or you'll die. But when I EDC this, man, that wind, that's a pretty strong wind. When I EDC this, it's got to fit in this little bag, and I couldn't fit the kit in the bag with paracord. It was just too tight and I couldn't get the thing in and out easily. So I went with this little cordage and I didn't die. What have I used it for? I've actually used this cordage and I've used it for when I was short for my tarp poncho setup. And I've used it for rain flies, for other things. That's the primary use. And once I used the cordage when I was trout fishing because I didn't have a stringer. I could have made a stick type stringer, but so this is actually, this cordage on your Altoids kit does actually, for me, does get to use. The Ranger band. The Ranger band. Well, it keeps the contents from dumping out, so I guess, yeah, this one does get use. Okay, let's see what's inside now. Little compass. No, not really. I've never really used this little compass. I've used it to check and verify that my GPS's compass and my cell phone's compass app thing was working. Or something, it has some kind of compass app thing. I checked with that. So, you know, things like that, to check electronics, I've checked that. But as far as a survival compass, no, never used it. But there it is, I got it, you know. It's a little Swiss Gear light. It's okay. It's got a little SOS, which is ridiculous, but it has a low mode. I kind of like the low mode. Let's see. There's the low mode, high mode. Have I used it? No. No, I haven't used it. Why? Because I carry a flashlight, and because I always have a headlamp in my pack. I've never actually used it, but there it is. I have it. This piece of compressed A cotton tinder? No, never used it. But there it is, I got it. Wire. I never used it, but I have used wire in the woods before, but never actually used it. Green woolly bugger fly. Yes, yes, this is my third woolly bugger fly, and the reason why I've used it is I go fly fishing early season. The woolly bugger is the best fly. If I'm carrying this kit with me, guess what? Add it up, I'm out of flies. I've pillaged for it before. So yes, I've used the green woolly bugger fly. Whistle. Oh man, that's loud. Now I know, oh, my ear's actually ringing. I know people say the ones with the bubble, with the cork little or little ball aren't as good as the other ones, but you know, I just like, this is like a made in England whistle. I just like it for nostalgic purposes, and I've used it to be an idiot. Just because it's so loud and so obnoxious. So yeah, I've used it, but not for survival situation. Sure, just to be an idiot and blow the whistle, like I just did. Little bag, wrapped with fishing line. Have I used a fishing line? Yes. Once I've used a fishing line, actually for a leader. I ran out of leader material, I was fly fishing. I needed leader material, I used the fishing line. So yeah, I guess so. The little bag? No, I've never really used a little bag at all. I just haven't. Aluminum foil. Yes, a big yes, I've used this. Primary use? For a lid for my canteen cup when the moths are running absolutely wild at the top of bug season, and I'm just drinking moths floating around in my drink, my coffee. Or to cook something and it's taking forever to boil. So when I don't have a pot lid, this is what I've used it for. Have you used it for anything else? I don't remember using it for anything else other than that. So this has been used. Little fire starter. This is a Hemlock starter. That's the guy, he goes by the name Hemlock. It's supposed to be soft magnesium with a high quality ferrocerium rod. And there's also a striker here. Have I used these? No, absolutely not. I've not used these. Why? Because I carry fire starters on me. I usually have a big light in my pocket. I've got a big fire starter already in there. I've never used this. Kind of foolish. I should probably test this out to see if it actually works. I've actually gone through 2 of these in these kits. I keep moving them around, but they keep not being used. I've got another one of a very similar design. Never used it, but I have a high degree of confidence it'll probably work. But maybe I should test this out one day. Little fish hooks. Little fish hooks. Have I ever used these? No, never used them. But there they are. They're still inside. I put them in tape on both sides so they don't like stick to everything, including my fingers. So just regular clear tape, and there they are. 2 fish hooks. I believe it's a number, I don't know, maybe a number 8 and a number 10 fish hook. I'm not exactly sure, but there they are. Inside a little plastic bag, not a plastic bag, you have 2 pieces of tape stuck together, then cut out. There you go. The can opener. Have I used a can opener? Yes, I have used a can opener, but I've used it less and less now. I used it once during outing when I was, I had like, I don't know, not sardines, anchovies. I went to pull the pull tab snaps off, and I'm looking like an idiot. And I just popped this right off. I mean, I could have used my knife, but I don't want to wreck up my knife's edge on a stupid can of those, is it anchovies? It was anchovies. I don't want to wreck it on that. I mean, so, popped it right off. Excellent. But it seems like, I don't know, I've used it once, maybe twice, one other time too, but more cans are pull-open cans now. So this is on review. This is on review to see if they'll stay in there. Yes, I've used this. I've used this antibacterial cream. It's got multiple purposes. This can use in conjunction with the cotton to make an awesome fire starter. The PJ with cotton mixed together. PJ, petroleum jelly, and cotton. Because this is like 90, what's the exact amount? Gosh, it's got to be, okay, here it is. It is, what is your percentage of actual white petroleum? Okay, here it is. Ingredients. Why can't I see this? what's your percentages here? 5, oh, okay, gosh, I can't see it, but I know somewhere along here, it's going to say this is like 97% white petroleum jelly. That's the exact, let's see, active ingredients, cocoa, okay, they're not giving me it here, but I know this is primarily like 97% white petroleum jelly. That's exactly what it is. White petroleum. It says right here, white petroleum. This is Vaseline essentially. I've used it. And this is actually my second packet in there. Band-Aids, yes, I've used them. I've used them. Little butterfly closure, no, I've never used you, but I have used Band-Aids before out of there. Yes, yes, these are micropure tablets. These expire. Now, one thing I do with these, because I write the expiration date right on there. See, these expire, this is 08 of 18. It's somewhere pushed into the, maybe right there, you can't see it, but pushed, they've actually have an indentation showing the date, but unless you have an electron microscope, you're never going to be able to see that. Maybe my eyes are getting shot, I don't know. But writing it in pen from the package, as opposed to trying to look for the expiration date on this, but then again, these don't stay around long enough for them to expire for me. And the reason is, when I'm hiking, sometimes it's easier for me to say, heck with the filter. I'm just going to pop open 2 of these tabs and fill up my, each one does like 34 ounces. 2 of them will fill up a whole platy, and that's it for the night. I'm done. I let it sit. I know, you should let it sit 4 hours, but really 30 minutes or so, it's safe to drink for most threats. I don't take responsibility if you get sick, and I don't want to hear it. So I do use these, and also another use for these is I have a tendency to just give these away to hikers. I can't tell you, I would say once every 4 outings, some hiker goes up and asks if they can use my filter, or if I have any water, because their filter busted. Inevitably, I either use the filter, or most likely I just give them these, and give them the instructions. Here's one. Big safety pin. Have I used this? No. And I can think of a couple times that I really could have used this for like snap the butt. There's a bunch of things, and I've never actually used it. Why? I'm an idiot. I've just completely forgot I actually had it. Stupid, but hey, that's what it is. Sewing needle and thread. Have I used this? Yes, because this is the second one. The first one's gone. I was on a trip to Florida, oh gosh, I don't know, 4 or 5 years. We did it on like maybe 3 or 4 years ago, something like that. And we did it on a kind of a spur of the moment thing. We drove down to Florida. Driving to Florida absolutely blows. And I only had like 1 pair of shorts on. That's it. I didn't bring any of the clothes with me. 1 pair of shorts I had, extra underwear, and a shirt. We're just going for the weekend. Button flew off. Had it all ready to go, sewed it back up, boom. So now I'm down to 1. I probably should replace the other one. The Swiss Army knife. The little tiny Swiss Army knife. Have I used this? Yes and no. The reason is I EDC a knife. I have a knife in my pack. I got no reason to go for this. Am I going to be in a survival situation where all I got is this tin? All I have is this tin. No, that's just ridiculous. I can't imagine that happening. But I do actually use a couple things. I've always had dreams of using these scissors. I've also never used those. But what I'm going to show you, I mean, look at that. Oh, I want to use them. I want to use them on something, but I've never really used them on anything. Oddly enough, it's this little, the little tiny, there it is, the little tiny Swiss Army knife tweezers. And I use it to remove those horrible Lyme disease ticks and little splinters. That's pretty much all I've ever used from this knife. It's just this little tweezers. Whoops, wrong way. I mean, I love Swiss Army. I absolutely love Swiss Army knife. I always have, I always will. This little tiny blade, never use it. I've never used it. Other than the tweezers, I think it's like some kind of a nail file. If you're a woman or something like that. And I think that's a little screwdriver thing. But as I said before, I've never really used it. Other than the pliers. I never used a toothpick. Just not the pliers. The tweezers. So other than the tweezers, I've never really actually used this for anything. But it's in the pack, and it's Swiss Army, I mean, it's in the tin. It's Swiss Army knife, so it's not going anywhere. And there we go. And that's about it really for today. Just your typical Altoids survival kit or personal survival kit, PSK. That's over the course of many years, that's what I've actually used. And as always, thank you very much for looking.